So, let's go backwards in time. Year 2007. After the release of the first movie of the brand new Babers films, in the 26th of December aired in Cartoon Network a brand new Transformers animated cartoon. After the end of the Unicron trilogy and the imminent and disastrous start of the Babers films, Transformers Animated appeared as a brand new cartoon that had so many of the old characters and the appearance of new ones, like for example Locknut, Slipstream and Lockdown, which I think only one of them got to appear in the live action films. Despite being very original in its development, it made nods to characters or objects from other continuities, like for example the Allspark, which was a concept first introduced on the live action films, and was the first cartoon to receive that concept, which would appear in the following adaptations. And also, let's not forget the nods to the characters of Beast Wars that appear in this show, like Black Arachnia or Waspinator. Now, after some background here, let's go for the main topic, the deluxe class animated Ratchet. I was lucky to find this guy sealed and for a cheap price. Ratchet here is part of Optimus Prime team and has an interesting background story. He has some kind of trauma with Lockdown, which back on Cybertron, the Decepticon booty hunter ambushed him trying to get RC to safety, and the consequence of doing that was getting his EMP generator ripped from his arm, which in the figure as well you need to get Lockdown in order to also get the EMP blaster, as he has the scar molded right in his left arm. This figure here is from another type of era, where the Transformers got interesting and functional gimmicks, like for example light piping, which some newer figures are receiving again that trait. So his main gimmick here consists in when you bend his arms, you can pull out his electromagnets he used in the show. Curiously, there is a Cybertron version of Ratchet that is based on the flashback he had during the first season, which Small was later used as Ironhide and the BotCon exclusive Physitron and the Auto Trooper rituals. The sculpting on this figure is good and it has some very good details, but it has its problems. The big shoulder pads and the backpack are none of them since they are accurate to the show, but the thing here that bothers me are his legs, which are kind of disproportionate and are hard for him to pose, and he sometimes may fall because of the backpack. The engineer of the figure is great, but you have to be careful with his shoulders. Hasbro thought it was a good idea to put clear plastic on them, and can break if used too much force. The legs here have some really weird pivots. They shouldn't be called pivots as well, because they are made for the feet to be repositioned so you can pose him well, but instead the pivots move the other way around. There is a spring-loaded mechanism right on his head that is meant for transformation purposes, but we could say it's kind of like an automorph of the figure. He comes with some accessories that look like fix-it tools that can be plugged where his magnets are supposed to go, and when not using it, you can store it on his back. For size comparison here we have Shockwave, Optimus Prime, Iron Man, Bulkhead and Hightower. The transformation is so easy, just make sure to not break those clear plastic shoulders and also that the roof plugs into place. According to TF Wiki, the roof of some copies of the figure doesn't tap on his feet at all, so I recommend you to be careful with that. The truck looks quite accurate to how it looks on the series. It has very good details like the front lights, the Autobot symbol, and also the back of the truck. Too bad that the backlights aren't painted at all because of the clear plastic they use in there, but I've seen customized figures that have those backlights painted. There is a thing that bothers me with the figure that I've not talked about, which is the painting. Like, it's not bad at all because of the details, it doesn't have anything to do with that, but it does have to do with the different shades of red color they use in all the figure. It's like if the responsibles of painting Ratchet didn't agree on what type of red using on him. Moving on, the other downside of the figure is that it doesn't have weapon storage on his vehicle mode. Like, where am I supposed to store his accessories? Since it's tiny and stuff, if I was like 5 or 6 years less, I could have totally lost his weapons. And also considering that this is a figure from a kids show, meant for young collectors and kids as well, many of those children could have actually lost accessories because there is no actual weapon storage on the vehicle mode. I guess I have to store them in any other place instead. The truck rolls really well. It's very fast because of the big wheels they put on this figure. It may have a chance to outspeed my other figures like Warpath or Hightower. And now it's time for another size comparison. Here we have Prime, Soundwave, Shockwave, Bulkhead and again Hightower. Overall, this figure meanwhile not great in some aspects like the color scheme or its also lack of paint in some areas. It does its job on representing the figure more screen accurate than having more detail on it. I guess that was their main objective after all. If you like the Transformers animated cartoon, I would recommend this figure if you like Ratchet. I'll get the other Cybertronian version instead on the internet. And before I end this video, I will post my next and last poll on Twitter since many people aren't voting on it, and let you guys choose for my next video. If you liked the video, remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram and this bot review, and we'll see you again soon.